Am I the asshole for taking my kids to the beach alone instead of waiting for my husband? My husband is the type of person who doesn't ever switch off from work, life, even while we're on vacation. It can be incredibly frustrating, but I've given up on trying to get him to change. During our vacation we were going to take the kids to the beach, but my husband received an important work call from his brother just before we were supposed to leave. He told me it wouldn't take longer than 5 minutes, but after waiting for over 30 minutes with a 6-year-old who kept complaining about when we were going to leave, I decided to just take the kids down to the beach myself, as it was only a 15-minute walk. I would have told him we were leaving, but he had gone into the other room and closed the door, which is his way of telling me he doesn't want to be disturbed. Instead I sent him a text that we would see him at the beach. He texted me back telling me to wait for him about 5 minutes later, but I didn't see it until we got to the beach, so when he got to the beach he was upset with me. He said I should have waited for him since we had the whole day to spend at the beach, and he wanted to see the kids' faces when they first got here. Am I the asshole for going without him? He wanted to see the kids' faces when they first got here. Nice attempt at guilt-tripping you there, but no. Not the asshole. If he wanted that, he should have shut off the phone. Not the asshole. If he wanted to prioritize his kids, he would have. Not the asshole. He initially told you it was going to be no longer than 5 minutes. He took over 30. He has no one to blame but himself. He either prioritizes his family while on vacation or he has to miss some important moments. Not the asshole. He said it will take 5 minutes and you waited 30 before you left. He could have called back from the beach if he wanted to be there. Edit. Here are all the choices that led to him not being there. 1. He picked up the phone. 2. He asked for 5 but took over 30 minutes. 3. He closed the door. 4. He didn't reply immediately to your message. 5. You stopped waiting and went to the beach. He is responsible for at least 4/5 of the reasons. Plus you were there for vacation, so the one not respecting the other's time and desires is him. Not the asshole. If he had wanted to see their faces when they first got to the beach, he could have actually made an effort to be there. It's incredibly rude to keep y'all waiting on him to enjoy your vacation. He needs to learn to prioritize his family, and if he can't do that, then he needs to figure out he doesn't have a right to be angry when the world doesn't stop just for him. Not the asshole. Your husband is extremely selfish. Not the asshole. If he wanted to see their faces when they got there, he should have prioritized them over work. Vacation is vacation and work is work. Not the asshole. If he isn't going to take time when on vacation and put down his phone, he doesn't get to demand that everyone else wait on his terms for when they can have fun. He said 5 minutes, you waited 30. He was already an asshole at that point. Am I the asshole for telling my fiancé's friend, she isn't my problem and I don't care about her feelings? My fiancé and I are getting married in 2023. My best friend, and best man, is going to have a year-old kid by the time of our wedding, and he and his wife are planning on coming from out of the country to support us, so we decided to have the kiddo be the ring bearer. Over the weekend my fiancé had some friends over. Her best friend's sister, let's call her Abby, came too. Context. Abby briefly dated my best friend in uni, she cheated on him and he kicked her ass to the curb. It's ancient history, but I'm not fond of the girl, in full transparency. So my fiancé and her friends were hanging out talking wedding things, and they got a bit tipsy and my fiancé starts yelling excitedly for me to bring the mini tux photo. My buddy sent me some pics of tux onesies for his kid, our ring bearer, to get fiancé and I's approval of what we wanted them to get, so that's what she wanted. I came in and showed them and they all were going crazy over how cute it was. Suddenly Abby grabs my phone out of my hand and practically screams in my face, "Wait, he's your best man." I get she was tipsy, but it really pissed me off. I took my phone back and told her to not yell in my face. So she turns to my fiancé and loudly says, "You can't let him, invite him." My fiancé looked puzzled and her best friend was just like, "Abby, that's his best friend, chill out." Then this girl starts crying and says she's going to have such an awkward time if he's there and she's single. It was ridiculous. I just left and went back to the living room and I heard her sister tell her to grow up, so I thought it was dealt with. A few hours later she cornered me in the kitchen while I was grabbing a beer and started begging me to not invite my best friend to my own GD wedding. She told me it would trigger her anxiety and that if I cared about her feelings and really am a mental health advocate, mental health is huge to me but not when it's weaponized, I would at least have him just be a guest. I was fucking floored by her audacity. I told her she wasn't my problem and I didn't care about her feelings on this. I also told her I'd have a better time personally if she didn't come, so maybe she shouldn't if it would impact her mental state. Well, she started crying again and ran and told all the girls. My fiancé says she doesn't think I did the wrong thing necessarily, but that I didn't need to be so harsh. Some of the other girls gave me dirty looks as they were leaving. I've been feeling guilty because usually I wouldn't speak to someone like that, but I felt she was really crossing a line. Am I the asshole? Update to add. Whoa, went to bed and then work and came back to a lot of great comments and awards, thanks y'all. Glad most of you think I'm not an asshole, and for the eshes I accept that I definitely could have worded my thoughts better, but hey, heat of the moment, you know. I told my fiancé that I made the post when I couldn't sleep last night before I went to work. She said she didn't know I was still even thinking about it and that we'd talk about it when I got home. I got home and she'd gotten me Chinese food and said she and her BFF dealt with the situation, and her BFF's sister is well aware she is not going to be getting a save the date. Apparently she wasn't even meant to be coming, even as like a default invitation, but had kind of invited herself since she's been staying with my wife's BFF, her sister. And they both felt awkward when she assumed she would be invited and were just going to go along with it, but her antics gave them the ammo they needed to deal with it. So worked out better than expected. Not the asshole, how entitled is she? Your fiancé's best friend's sister is trying to dictate who you have as best man. Seriously, that is messed up. I think you handled it absolutely brilliantly. You were clear, concise and polite, until she went too far. She crossed the line and you stood firm. My man, it's your wedding. Your wedding. You invite whoever you please and nobody can say otherwise. This girl has, as you rightly pointed out, tried to emotionally blackmail you by weaponizing her mental health. So she's immediately the asshole. I'm glad you stood up for yourself, your friend, and your principles. You've done absolutely the right thing. I think, as your wife said, you were a bit harsh, but that can't be helped now. You were obviously irate at the time and she was tipsy, so it blew up more than it should have, but you're in the right. So yeah, don't sweat it, King. You're all gravy. If this Abby girl has anxiety about an ex she cheated on, she needs a reality check emo. Your friend has moved on, got married, and had a baby. He literally won't even notice her. This girl sounds like a fucking mess. Gross and yikes. You're not the asshole. Like you said, she's weaponizing mental health and she doesn't care what the collateral damage is. It's manipulative and self-centered behavior. Not the asshole, and your fiancé should reconsider inviting her. It's not like people don't get drunk at weddings too, I'd be concerned. Not the asshole, that chick sounds like a nightmare attention seeker. Not the asshole. Your fiancé is being a great friend by allowing somebody that dramatic and ridiculous to still be in the wedding. She's definitely going to be a bridesmaidzilla. Plus, didn't she cheat on him? WTF? Girl, own your mistakes and grow TF up. Weirdo. Not the asshole. Her feeling awkward isn't yours to fix, and she was really out of line trying to emotionally blackmail you after cornering you. Could you have been less harsh? Probably. Would she have stopped if you had? My guess is not. If he was the one who cheated, I could understand her. But she has the audacity to pull that when she was the one who cheated. Yikes. Am I the asshole for telling my mom to not expect a Mother's Day gift from me? My mom got a job when I, F14, was 6. She works as a teacher's aide and she said it would be a good thing because she's off after school and during breaks, and it was okay at first. Then she would stay after school to tutor her students and would ask my grandparents to pick me up and watch me for an hour after school. No big deal, it was only an hour. Then she started a tutoring business after school and was busy after school until 7-8 at night 6 days a week. My grandparents said they couldn't watch me for that long, so she hired a nanny. My mom somehow became more absent after that. Then she fired the old nanny and got a live-in nanny because she was too tired to spend time with me or take care of me after work. She also never took a day off of work for me. She once took a morning off when I was 11 because I was getting surgery. Then the second I was allowed to go home, she left me with my nanny and went back to work. She didn't show up to most of my birthday parties, school plays, talent shows, or even my middle school graduation. My nanny was the only person who showed up for those things. My nanny's birthday just passed and I got her some earrings from Pandora, a couple bath bombs, and an eyeshadow palette. My mom saw the earrings and told me she wants me to get her those for Mother's Day. I told her she shouldn't expect a Mother's Day gift from me since we're basically roommates at this point. She yelled at me for disrespecting her about how she provides for me and pays for my nanny, and we haven't spoken since. I'm starting to feel bad, so I wanted to know if I was the asshole. NTA, she clearly put her work before you. This is one of those things where I bet there are students who will tell you how great she is. Meanwhile you don't know because you have little to no experience with her. Also, this can't be a money issue because she hired a nanny. If she said there's money problems, that would be like saying I need a part-time night job to buy coffee for my night job. Not the asshole. Honestly, your nanny is more deserving of a Mother's Day gift. Info. This is really kind of a tough one. Is she absent so much because she's just a ridiculous workaholic, or does she really not care? Demanding gifts is pretty tacky though. Does she not get vacation days at work? Have you ever tried to have a conversation with her about why she's gone so much? Not the asshole. But keep in mind this comes with consequences and she may choose to provide less for you somewhere down the road. Not the asshole. She wants the title and all the perks of being mother without any of the work or love. I don't blame you for not seeing her that way and for not wanting to buy her a gift. Not the asshole. I understand your mom wanting to work so hard to provide for you, and not wanting to rely on your grandparents, but she needs to make time for you too. For me, the worst thing is that she'll make time to go on holiday with her friends but not with you. I just want to give you a big hug. Maybe for Mother's Day you could try to get like vouchers for a mother-daughter mani-pedi or brunch. Make it super clear you want to spend time with her, and then if she blows you off, then you've done all you really can do. If she fires your nanny, can you move in with your grandparents instead? NTA. I would advise talking to your grandparents. Heck, get your grandmother and nanny a gift for Mother's Day and thank them both for being loving maternal figures towards you and always being there. Not the asshole, and I'm sorry your mom is so neglectful. Your nanny, you should set up a separate email account so that you can stay in touch with her even if she is fired. Also, you can get a burner phone to keep at school, friends, grandparents to keep in touch with her. You will be 18 in 4 years, and depending on your location you will be able to drive in 2-3 years, and you can definitely maintain your relationships even if your mother objects. Am I the asshole for letting my daughter make her own choices about her hair? So me and my wife split years ago when our daughter, 15F, was 4. She moved away, so I got primary custody of our daughter. She flew back to see her often. For context, me, my ex, and our daughter are all black. I have 4C hair. My ex has 3A and our daughter has 4A. I am close friends with Julia, who lives in the apartment across from ours. She and her wife have 3 adopted children, 19M, 16F, 9F. Both the younger 2 are black with hair types similar to my daughter. The oldest, Milo, is Asian. Milo grew up doing his sister's hair, so knows how to handle and style black hair. He's also currently a hair and beauty student. He has been helping with my daughter's hair since she was 7. My ex got married last week. The reception was nearby as she wanted to get married in the same place as her parents. My daughter really wanted this particular hairstyle, and for almost 3 months she got Milo to practice it on her until it was perfect. He didn't mind, and neither did I. Julia and her family are almost like family to me and my daughter anyway. The wedding came. Milo did my daughter's hair. My ex had said our daughter can bring a handful of friends, so she invited her best friend as well as Milo and his sisters. The wedding was great, the venue was beautiful, and my daughter loved seeing her mother again. My ex absolutely loved my daughter's hair. She made a comment about getting something similar before she left, and that was it for the night. My ex had stayed in town to catch up with her family and old friends. Yesterday she texted me and asked about where our daughter got her hair done because she wanted to get something similar. I told her that one of the neighborhood kids did it and I could see if they would do it. I asked and Milo agreed. She showed up and we went over to Julia's house. She recognized the kids and assumed that it was the eldest daughter that did the hair. After a few minutes of chatting, Milo got home from school. My daughter started excitedly telling him that her mom loves what he did with her hair and wants to match her. Immediately my ex's face fell. She asked to talk to me. We went across the hall to my apartment. She then blows up at me and asks why the hell I've been letting a white man touch our daughter's hair. I corrected her that Milo isn't white and that he's been doing her hair for years and does his siblings' hair. He uses the right products and clearly knows how to handle her hair. She told me that it doesn't matter and said he don't want him touching her or our daughter's hair. I told her that if she don't feel comfortable that's fine, but that our daughter is old enough to choose who does her hair, and she's close with and trusts Milo. She called me names and said then won't talk to me until I sort this out. IHVANT heard from her since and our daughter is upset. She was excited to match and spend time with her mother. I feel like I messed this up somehow, so am I the asshole? Not the asshole, at all. Your ex is a racist. There's no need to discuss it. She's a racist, plain and simple. It shouldn't matter if Milo is white, Asian, or purple. He and his family sound like great people, and like you said yourself, they're pretty much family. The fact that she hasn't spoken to you or her daughter since this incident shows that she's not only a racist, she's a selfish parent. I can't say it hard enough that you're not the asshole, and maybe you and your daughter are better off without her around. Edit. Wow, this blew up. Thank you everyone for the awards. It's much appreciated. Not the asshole. Isn't this a good thing? That more people can correctly take care of different and diverse types of hair? Not the asshole. At 15, your daughter should be old enough to decide who touches her hair. Even when she was younger and you began doing this, a parent who is not physically present really doesn't have to be called for every minor, mundane question. It wouldn't be any different if your ex were routinely at work when your daughter needed her hair done. You wouldn't call her to ask, "Hey, can so-and-so help with her hair?" Not the asshole. Your ex is waving her racist flag all over the place. Good for you for defending your daughter's autonomy. Not the asshole. I think you sound like an amazing father and neighbor. As a white person with straight hair, I want to say thank you for introducing me to hair types. I had no idea what 4A, 4C and 3A hair were, and Googled and learned something pretty cool. Thank you. Heart. Not the asshole. Your ex-wife sounds like an absolute lunatic. She knows literally nothing about Milo, and she's willing to take one glance at him and decide he's dangerous after you and your daughter were able to vouch for him after knowing him for so many years? Gross. Also, I was thinking, this Milo kid sounds like a bloody legend. Way before I got to the part where it was him she had an issue with. Not the asshole. Your ex is racist. Why does the color or gender of a person matter if they know what to do with a particular kind of hair? Good for you for being open to letting someone take care of your daughter's hair. Your ex is a bigot. You're heading for Father of the Decade. So not the asshole.